IFM's annual international conference, AIC 2026, is less than a week away. Get excited to hear from renowned researchers, expert functional medicine clinicians, and thought leaders in the field. And now, here's your exclusive sneak peek of the presentations.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Geeta Maker-Clark. I'm an integrative family physician and I'm a presenter at AIC 2026. I am delighted to present my keynote on medicine for all people, reimagining vitality across the lifespan. And what I'm hoping to share is a zoom out lens of what it really means to be healthy in an unjust world. As we think about the word medicine, many of us think about pharmaceuticals or interventions or tests, and certainly that's what medicine has come to mean. But I'd like for us to think together on how we can reimagine medicine as a word that actually calls to mind community, trust, gratitude, nourishing food, healthful plants and plant relationships, dancing, and the neuroplasticity of joy, the biology of connection that comes from being with loved ones. So my hope is that we can together go on a journey that explores the scientific evidence of why ancestral wisdom and why this broader paradigm of medicine is so important in these times. And for us to reconsider whether we need to be utilizing our energy and resources towards personalized microscopic medicine, or whether we need to balance by moving into relational medicine and medicine that truly nourishes people, that is free, that is accessible, and that can lead to a more just society for all. I think this topic is particularly relevant at this moment when there has never been more inequity in healthcare or inequity in our society. All of us who are working in healthcare are keenly aware of the challenges that our patients face around accessing good care. And especially for those of us in integrative medicine, functional medicine, who are working on next level solutions for our patients and looking at root cause medicine, it's increasingly difficult for our patients to access some of the remedies that we're hoping to provide them. So what I'm hoping to do with this talk and to explore with our community is how we can truly support each other towards a healthier society with the medicines that are actually all around us. Functional medicine has been an extremely important part of my practice because it's helped me further my goals to help patients get to the root cause of their health concerns. The framework, the testing modalities, the solution models have all been an extremely, I'd say, foundational element of how I've been able to help my practice get stronger in terms of providing exactly what patients want and also empower patients to be able to take their health into their own hands with the information that I'm getting to them. I have long admired IFM as an organization and all of the people involved in it. So for me, it's an incredible honor to be able to join this community, and particularly this year when I think many of us are facing challenges in our practices and also challenges in working in the healthcare system, to be able to come together and share best practices and innovative ideas. What I hope most of all is that when clinicians leave my talk, they feel inspired and energized and hopeful and truly ready to go back into the clinic, feeling like they've learned something with the science to back it on how they can provide free, accessible care to their patients that is really meaningful and effective.
Hi, my name is Sachin Patel, and I am a metabolic wellness expert and a breathwork facilitator. This year, I'll be speaking at AIC 2026. I'll be speaking about how to breathe new life into your practice, as well as facilitating a transformational breathwork session. And I hope to see each and every one of you there. Last year was a big hit, and we had people spilling into the hallways. So if you are going to be joining me, make sure you show up early and ready to breathe and transform the quality of your practice and the quality of your life as well. At my talk this year, I'm going to be showing you how to incorporate diagnostic tools related to breathing and your clients and practical modalities that you can implement immediately for your client. I'm going to be also sharing the exact handouts that I give to my clients so you can incorporate them immediately for yourself, but also into your practice as well. Secondly, we're going to be doing a breathwork experience where I'm going to take you through a fully guided, musically guided breathwork experience, and we're going to shake off the old stories. We're going to clear the cobwebs in our emotional house, and we're going to take you through a specific type of breathing practice that shuts off the default mode network. This is the part of your brain that ruminates. This is why we live 95% the same day in and day out. When we turn off the default mode network, you'll be able to write a whole new story. You'll be able to envision an entirely profound way to approach life, to approach your practice, and approach client care as well. And you'll leave that session feeling totally restored and renewed. Breathwork is a relevant topic for healthcare practitioners, not just today, but it's always been. However, it's one of those things that because it's invisible, because we do it every single day, and because we're alive, we assume we're doing it well, it's something that can be very easily overlooked. When I discovered this modality, started applying it into my personal life, into my family's life, and into my practice, what I witnessed was total transformations in people's health. What I've learned over the years that a dysregulated nervous system will never create a healthy body, and breath is that access point to literally steer the nervous system in the direction we want it to go in. We breathe about 30 pounds of air a day, and we take 23,000 breaths a day. It probably makes sense for us as clinicians to pay attention to how our clients are breathing. And if we can get them to breathe in such a way that they can regulate their nervous systems on demand, it will exponentially catapult the results that we're getting with our clients. When we work with people through the breath work, we really start moving all that myofascial system. The myofascial system essentially acts as our emotional hard drive. So we start kind of waking up these emotions that are dormant in our body that we've kind of buried down because of maybe we weren't able to express ourselves as a child. Maybe we were told not to cry. Maybe we were laughing too loud, and or maybe that spirit in us got torn apart. And so that gets buried in our myofascial system, and people end up with aches and pains that they can't seem to resolve. They do the breath work. Breath work's like shaking a tree. And so when you shake a fruit tree, the ripe fruit falls off. So all the good ideas you've had that have been marinating come to you, and then all the dead branches fall off. So all the things that you're holding on to that served you at one point and no longer serve you, they become, they fall to the bottom of the tree. And at the end of it, you've released all this emotion through your breath, because that's the conduit to get rid of it, right? So when we think about expressing emotions, when you sigh, you're expressing an emotion. When you laugh, you're expressing an emotion. When you cry, you're expressing an emotion. So breathing is really a signature and actually a diagnostic modality to determine the state a client is in. So if somebody's sitting in front of me on a Zoom call, or if somebody's sitting next to me, I can tell the state of their nervous system just based on the cadence and the way that they're breathing. And so the patient might tell you one thing, but their nervous system might be telling you something totally different. And now when we understand how to read people's breath, we now don't only rely on what they tell us, we can clue into what their body is telling us. And so just like they say the eyes are a window to the soul, the breath is a window into the nervous system. What inspired me to speak again at AIC this year is the transformations that I witnessed last year. It was just wonderful to meet like-minded people who are looking to improve their clinical skills, people who are looking to improve their client outcomes, and people who are looking to grow their businesses and bring functional medicine to more people. Over the course of 3 days, I witnessed light bulbs going off. I witnessed transformational thought processes taking place. And as a breathwork facilitator at the event, I also got to witness emotional transformations for people as well. So I love the event. I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm. I love the gathering of like-minded people who are looking to make the world a better place and a world that we all want to live in, where people are healthy, happy, and whole. The future is functional. And at AIC, we're going to show you how to bring that future into the now and take your practice to the next level.
I'm Dr. Regina Druz, and I'm excited to be presenting at AIC 2026 in San Diego. My presentation will focus on how attendees can incorporate AI tools responsibly, ethically, and respecting patient privacy and autonomy into their practice. Let's face it, 40 million of people consult ChatGPT or comparable tools for health advice every single day. And I have no doubt that in your own practice, you have seen patients come in with laboratory results interpreted by generative AI, and even the whole paged reports or dossiers that are diving into their health information. Well, on the surface, that may seem as a great new opportunity for patient engagement, but there are very significant dangers and there are some really serious concerns. In my presentation, I will help practitioners to understand how to ethically and responsibly implement AI for use with their patients to benefit their practice and avoid these potential pitfalls. What happens with use of artificial intelligence, even in this fairly basic forms, generative intelligence, is that it had become a regular part of our daily practice. And it could enhance our practice, but it could also take away from our practice. It could make our relationships with our patients more productive and more beneficial, but it could also make our relationships with our patients exposed to some hidden dangers and some unexpected concerns. So considering how impactful and how omnipresent AI use actually is, and how challenging it actually is to use it appropriately in a medical setting, I believe that every single practice, irrespective of practitioner designation, degree, focus in functional medicine, area of expertise, will be affected by AI tools. And what I would love for practitioners to do is to become AI architects of their own practices, not just the recipients of various AI tools, but to learn how to actively shape the AI use in their practice so that they can benefit their patients and benefit our medical community at large. So I use AI in multiple verticals. I use it on a daily basis. One of my main uses, of course, is using it to document interactions between patients and myself. And one of the interesting things that I learned along that pathway is that it actually changed how I interact with a patient. And that was sort of an unexpected benefit because my notes used to be comprehensive but fairly brief. And of course, having that benefit of artificial intelligence, I'm able to provide additional education to my patients, expand on certain things that they may find very useful that goes outside of that necessarily first interaction or second or third interaction physician notes. So the clinical domain is still the number one domain in my practice. It is not a secret that any medical practice, which is private, or especially functional medicine or integrative or precision medicine practice, does need to acquire patients and does need to create an educational workflow for these patients because the types of services that we provide very often might be something that patients need additional information and pre-education on. And so AI has been very instrumental to us in being able to engage our patients. We use AI-powered quizzes, and we use deep integration using actually something called agentic AI, and I will explain it in my presentation a little bit more, what's the difference between chatbot and the agentic AI, to actually derive patient personas so that we could understand better and deeper when we come into a conversation with a patient, what are their needs and how we may actually serve their needs. I want to impact on clinicians and on anyone attending AIC 2026 actually is that we are sort of at, we're living in a real AI struggle right now, right? And some people are standing on the sidelines and some people are using some of the AI tools, sort of additions to their practice, and maybe they're changing some parts of their practice, increase their practice efficiency. But to be sustainable in the future, we have to think about how practice of functional medicine could become AI native practice, because that's really the key to sustainability, and that's what the future will be like. So if you are attending AIC 2026, perhaps that would be the first or maybe one of many introductions to how AI can actually be instrumental in functional medicine. Join us at AIC to go deeper into the clinical applications of AI and explore other prominent topics in healthcare today. Get your live stream ticket and attend AIC from anywhere in the world.